Hi! In this video, I will be showing you how to create a pocket door family. We will be using standard constraint and parameter. But in addition to that, I will be introducing a new concept, and that is how to use formula to control a parameter. Alright, let's get started. So we're going to start with a new family template. So from families, we're going to go to new. And this should take us to the default family template folder. We're going to use door and make sure not to use door curtain wall. I'm going to use that and open it up. Now we're on the top view. So normally I will never advise you to get rid of the opening cut, because this determines the cut in the host, right? But in this case, we are making pocket doors. So I will use void geometry to create the cut in the wall instead. So let me open up 3D view so that you can see. So up to scale a little to 1 inch equal to a foot, and WT on my keyboard, ZA to zoom auto fit. All right. So this over here is opening cut. It's just a simple line that generates the cut in the host. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that. Delete. Okay, now I want to be in exterior view, so I'm going to TW out of this, TW, and then go to exterior view. Let me get rid of things that I don't need right now. So I Windows select. Okay, so I have 4 objects selected. I know those 4 I want to get rid of. Okay, so there are casing on that we're seeing right now, and casing on the other side of the walls, and the 2 symbolic lines. I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to hide it using temporary hide element. Now, I want my opening to be bigger than the size of the door, because width and height will control the width and height of the actual door panel. All right, so my opening inside the host should be a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to make it ½ an inch bigger on each side. So I will use RP for reference plane. Let me zoom out, and I'm going to make it longer than I need. I'm placing one here, and one over here. Okay, and I want to dimension and lock it to this is left reference plane. I want to dimension and lock it at ½ inch. Okay, so 0.5 inch, enter. Okay, and then I will lock this dimension. I will do the same for the rest. So DI on my keyboard for dimension. Okay, select the reference plane, change it to 0.5, and then lock this dimension. Do the same for this. Move it out. Select a new reference plane, and then 0.5 inch, and then lock. Okay, one more reference planes I want to add, but I'm going to do that from reference level. Okay, and let me make the host a little bit bigger. So this is the pocket door. Okay, so the pocket door has to have cavity inside of the wall, and I want the cavity to be on this side here, on the right side over here. So I will use a parameter to control how deep I want that cavity to be. So before I can place a parameter, I'm going to place a reference plane first. So reference plane. Okay, notice that I haven't been renaming my reference plane, is because I'm not renaming it because I know that I will never use it as a work plane. Next, I'm going to create a parameter. Okay, and this parameter will be taken, or this dimension will be taken from this right reference plane. Okay, and dimension it to our new reference plane, the one that we just placed. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. Okay, and I will create a new parameter for this, and this is a new concept. Okay, so I'm selecting this, and I'm going to create a parameter. I know that I cannot use any of these parameters, so I'm making a new one. okay? And I'm calling this pocket width. Calling this pocket width. Oops. Okay, and it's going to be a type parameter, and we can leave the rest of these as default. You know what? I'm going to add this tooltip just in case we come back later on to revisit this family. So the tooltips will be this control using formula, depth plus, I'll explain this to you in a minute, okay? Depth plus 2 inches, okay? And then width plus 2 inches, okay? All right, and then I'm gonna okay out of it. Now, what I want this width to actually be is I want this width to be the same as the door width plus 2 inches. Okay, and to do that, we're going to use formula. So if we go to family type up here and then look for, you know what, let's move width up first. Okay, so width always come before height, and then the pocket width, I kind of like it right there. So I'm going to highlight this so that I can copy it. And to control this value, I'm going to use the formula. And I just realized I misspelled formula, so I'm going to come back and then paste here. Control P. Oops, let me see. Okay, and then plus 2 inches. Okay, and then I can I don't think I need to have space here. Okay, then I can apply. So after I apply this width here, 4 feet and some change there, to change to 3 feet 2 inches. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so apply and okay. So I'm using formula to control the location of this reference plane. So if the width of the door gets bigger, that reference plane moves. So let's flex this. Okay, so I'm going to flex this. I'm changing this to 4 feet 6 inches. So this should be 4 8. All right, I'm going to apply. That changes. Let me okay out of this, and it changes there as well. All right, let me go ahead and change my misspell real quick. So pocket, edit. Okie doke. Now I think we're ready to place the void geometry. This is in a way, so I'm going to HH to hide it. Okay, and I want to use void geometry to create the opening. So create void forms, and we're just going to use a regular void extrusion, and the shape will look something like this. So I'm using a rectangle for this, and I'm using another rectangle. So I'm doing that. This is the quickest way to, oops. This is the quickest way to get the shape that I want. Okay, I want this line to align with this. AL, align, and then lock. Okay, so just zoom out so that you can see. And I want these two lines to be, say, about 1.25 inches away from the center front back. Okay, right now I'm highlighting the center of the wall. That's not what I want. Okay, so I'm just gonna tab until I can get center front back. All right, and then dimension. Oops, I was still at the align command, so I'm going to dimension DI for my keyboard and tab until I can get the reference. Okay, center front back. dimension, and I want this dimension to be 1.25 inches, so 1.25 inch and 1.25 inch, okay? Then I don't ever want these dimensions to change, okay? So I'm going to lock them. Oops. Sometimes you just need to zoom in to be able to grab those locked easily. And these two lines over here, I'm going to align it with the new reference plane. I'm going to lock these two lines to the new reference planes. Okay, this one on the left came with the template. Okay, this one is the one that we've just created. Okay, so I'm going to lock it to this new one. Okay, so AL lock. Okay, I'll do the same on the opposite side. Lock. And these two lines, I'm going to lock them to the reference planes that attach to the surface of the host. So make sure again that I get the reference plane. Lock. Okay, so this is the shape that I want, but the thickness is not quite what I want yet. I want the bottom. Okay, speaking of the bottom, let's make sure that the work plane is the reference level. Okay, so reference level, great. All right, then I want the top to attach to the top reference plane. Right now it is at 1 foot. I am going to make it 4, 6 for now, just so that when we click this check, you can see the opening, because anything below 4 you're not going to see because it's underneath the cut plane. So I'm going to OK out of this, and you still don't see it because we need one more step. So we're going to go to cut geometry. Okay, it doesn't matter what you pick first. You can pick the void geometry first and then the host, or the other way around, it'll work. Okay, so now we have that cut. Okay, if I flex this, and I'm only going to flex the width, I'm changing the width to 3. All right, apply, changing it to 6, apply. Looks like it's working. All right, so now let's go to exterior view, and this is the void geometry. Okay, I think I can just AL and then attach to the new reference plane. Okay, not the reference plane that came with the template. Okay, this reference plane here, and I'm going to attach this. I can't do it, so I'm just gonna have to grab it, I guess. Just grab this triangle and drag it up. Right now I am at the bottom reference plane. I want to get the top one. Okay, the one that we made. All right, and then we can lock that. Okay, so if we go to 3D view, you will see that 1/2 inch offset from the casing. Let me HH this out. Okay, and you see that cavity. You should see the same thing on top. All right, you should see that 1/2 inch recess on top as well. Awesome, that's what we want. Let's flex and see what's going on here in this view. As a matter of fact, let's close the reference level and WT so we can, oh yeah, we've gone a bit too far without saving our project. So we're going to save our project. And as always, if we save it for the first time, you'll be saving it as, and I'm going to just browse to my location and save the family. Since it's going to be a door family, okay, I'm going to put it here under doors folder, and I'm calling this dr underscore single pocket. Okay, and then save. Okay, we can WT and ZA. Now I will flex. Okay, I'm going to put this thing over here so we can see them both. I'm going to make the width 3 feet. Make the height. We never want to change this value here. Okay, just because this value is taking that information to generate the value that goes in here. All right, and 3080. Apply. Looks good. I'm just going to make this a type. Okay, so I'm going to call this 3080. Okay, and then I will make another one for 2670. Okay, so this is 267. Apply. All right, looks good. Looks like it does what it's supposed to do. Let me hide this also, HH. Okay, back to reference level, and I'm going to TW to maximize. Oops, TW to maximize this view. The next thing that we're going to do is to build the casing. Okay, not the casing, I'm sorry, the frame that goes around the opening, and it's gonna fill this cavity here, this 1/2 inch cavity here. The best place for me to do that is in exterior view, and I will hide what I don't need to see. Okay, I do want to see the opening, so okay, let me just window select everything. Window select everything and filter out. I want to hide the casing. All right, so check none, and I think casing are in frame mullion. Okay, and then I don't know why I cannot see it. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna HH it. Okay, HH. HH. There's another one on the other side that I'm looking at it right now. Tab, 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 tab. Okay, HH. All right. So I don't know what I just hide earlier, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I got what I wanted. Now, now with the frame, the tool that I'm going to use will be sweep. And sweep is a two-step process. First, you're going to sketch the path, then you're going to sketch the profile. This one will be simple. So path, I want the path to follow the reference plane, the 3 reference plane that we have added, earlier. All right. And the work plane for this, I'm going to set the work plane. The work plane for this will be exterior. Okay. And then we're going to sketch. I'm going to use pick line. I want to make sure that lock is checked. All right. Then let me zoom in so that you can see which plane I'm selecting. So I'm selecting this one. This is the one we made. This one, also the one we made. And this one. It should all lock automatically. Then I'm going to use trim extend, TR, to kind of clean it up. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this one back so that it matches with the reference level. It's a little bit hard to see. So I'm going to, there we go. Got it. Here, again, match it with the reference level. Got it. And since I picked this line first, the sketch plane for the profile is here. So I need to be on the left or on the right to be able to see the sketch plane. So I'm going to be in right elevation. Okay, and that's the sketch plane. And this profile will be simple. So first, let me just, before I do that, so you see that now the path is on top of the exterior reference plane. If I can find it. Exterior reference plane, which is that one there. Okay, so that's what we said earlier under set work plane. Okay, so I'm going to OK that to confirm that I'm done with the path. Now I'm ready with the profile. So edit profile, and the profile will look something like this. Okay, I'm going to lock the top profile. Let me AL. I'm going to lock the top profile with the reference plane that came with the sketch profile. Okay, all right. Let me do that again. AL. Lock it. And then for this one, I'm going to lock it with the sketch, with the reference plane that came also with the profile. So I'm going to tap until I can find it. That's it. That's the one, the shorter one. Okay. And then lock it. And for the remaining, I'm locking it with, this is the top reference plane. This one came with the template. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to lock it with the interior reference plane. So easier if I just pick it from here. And lock it. Okay, I want to make sure that they're all locked because I went a little bit fast, and it's locked there. It's locked there. Locked there as well. Locked. Okay, perfect. So I am going to confirm that I am done with the profile and confirm one more time that I am done with the sweep. Okay, so now let's see what we have. All right, so now we have casing that goes around that fill the cavity, right? And unfortunately, it is also fill up that access for the pocket door as well. So we're going to go back to reference level, and we're going to use void geometry to kind of cut this opening here. So create void form, void extrusion, okay? And it's going to look something like this. I'm going to align and lock it with this reference plane. This one is called, let me, AL. Okay, with the right reference plane. Lock. And this is our reference planes, okay? Lock. And I want these two lines to match that. And I just remember that it's their distance from the center front back is 1.25 inches. Okay, so I'm going to change that to 1.25 inch. Okay, and here making it 1.25 inch as well. And I don't want those dimensions to change, so I will lock them. Okay, height will be 4 feet 6 inches. We'll change that later in exterior elevation. So I'm going to OK out of that. So now we can see that cavity open. And double check again. You can see it there as well. So let me show you this. I'm going to close the right, and I'm going to close the reference level. Okay, so I want to pick this void form so that I can move this one up and attach it to a reference that is on top. Okay, so in exterior view, okay, if I try to select that void geometry, it might be difficult for me to get it. Okay, but if I have exterior view and 3D view open at the same time, WT, okay, I can pick the void geometry, okay, from the 3D view. So I'm going to tap until I can get it. All right, and then come back to exterior. Okay, then you're selecting it on the exterior view as well. So I'm going to grab this triangle and attach to this reference plane here, this one on the bottom here. Okay, and then you should get a padlock, lock it. All right. Let me reset the temporary hide to get everything back. Okay, and let me open reference level because I'm going to flex. So I'm going to WT this. Okay, ZA, zoom all to fit. All right. Let's see. I'm going to flex this from 2670 to 3080. Apply. Change it back. Apply. Apply. Okay, looks good to me. Next, we're going to build the geometry for the door panel. So I want to be in reference view again. Okay, so TW. And this door, and for this door, I want it to be about 1 inch bigger than the width, than the opening width. Okay, I am not going to use the formula. Let me think about this a little bit. No, I'm not going to use the formula. Okay, I want to keep it simple. So I want to add a reference plane here. Okay, and I'm going to dimension it to this reference plane here, the right reference plane, because this right reference plane moves when the width increases or decreases, right? So I'm going to dimension it to that, and I will make this distant 1 inch. Let me zoom in so I can see. Okay, I'm going to make this distant 1 inch because I want my door to be 1 inch bigger than the width. Okay, and since I don't ever want this relationship to change, I will lock it. All right, now I'm ready to build the geometry. So it's going to be a simple solid geometry. So I use extrusion, rectangle. Okay, I'm aligning this with the left reference plane. Okay, and lock it. And then I want the thickness of the door to be 2 inches. Okay, so just a little bit. Oops, sorry, let me use dimension instead. Dimension. Okay, and this will be 1 inch. Okay, this will be 1 inch as well. Okay, so now the thickness of our door is just about ½ an inch smaller than the width of the pocket. All right, now the last thing that I need to do is I need to align this line here with the new reference plane that we've just added. Okay, and the height of the door right now will be 4 feet 6 inches. We're just going to leave it as that and change it later. Okay, let's flex this. Cancel. Let me move this right a little bit. Okay, let's flex this. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to be in exterior view, and then I'm going to grab this geometry here. That's for the door panel. Okay, I'm going to drag this one up and lock it to the top reference plane. Okay, and then lock it. Okay, now let's flex it again. So WT, ZA for zoom all to fit, and then flex. Good. Okay, now let's TW this back and open up a new test project file. So new project, and then doesn't matter what template we use. We just want to have 2 walls of 2 different thicknesses. Okay, to test this family. And then I'm going to close all inactive views. Back to our pocket door family. Load this one into the project. And then place it to see how it behaved there. Alright, so far so good. I know that we still have to work on the line weights. Okay, so let me bump this scale up a little bit to ½ inch equal to a foot. Okay, looks good. Looks good there. Let me try to flip it to see if there's any problem with that. I'm flipping it. Okay, no problem there. 3D view, then I will flex the size. Oops. Okay, all right, fine. I'll just pick them one by one. Okay, it looks good to me. Okay, back to our pocket door family. We're almost done. Now we're just gonna fix the line weight or improve the line weight. So I will be in reference level. Save our work. Okay, so let's work on the easy part first. So I'm going to improve the line weight on the frame. Okay, so I will use annotate, symbolic line, and the line weight that I'm going to use will be frame mullion cut. All right, I'm aligning this line with the exterior reference plane. Lock. Do the same for the interior. Okay, and this is the left reference plane. Okay, and then this is the reference plane that we added ourselves. Okay, so let me make sure that they're all locked. Okay, looks like they are. All right, I'm going to load this back into the project. This should improve this line weight here. Okay, looks like it does. Now, let's go back to the reference level of our pocket door. Now we're going to work on this. So, annotate, symbolic line, rectangle, make sure it's frame and mullion. I'm aligning this line here with the exterior reference plane. And I'm going to align this one with the right reference plane. Lock. Here with our reference plane. And for the bottom, I'm going to use dimension. Okay, just to avoid having problem later, I'm going to use dimension. And I know that this line here is 1.25 inches away from the center front back. So I'm going to change this dimension to 1.25 inches. Okay, and then I will lock this dimension. Okay, I'll do the same on the opposite. Annotate, symbolic line, frame and mullion. I'm going to use rectangle again. Okay, AL, this time I'm going to align it with the inside or interior reference plane, right reference plane, lock, and then this is our reference plane, lock, and then I'm using dimension to control the location of this line here. Let me pull it out this way. Okay, and then I'm changing this to 1.25 inch. Oop, I have inches twice. Get rid of one, enter. Okay, then I don't want this relationship to change again, so I will lock it. Let's load this back into the project. Hopefully there's no problem there. Okay, the line weights improved. See here. Great. All right. Let me add one more wall of just, to test the location of these two lines again. Okay, so I'm going to add one more wall of different thickness. And I hope this one is thicker. Looks like it is. And then architecture, door, and this is door single pocket. Okay, sure. Okay. Okay, looks like we're good. All right, back to our pocket door family in reference level. Okay, now this is kind of in the way, so I'm going to hide it. HH, HH. Okay, now I want to show the door panel in open position, and I want it to be 1/3 open and 2/3 close. All right, so this is how I would do it. First, I will add a reference plane, RP on my keyboard. And then I will make another parameter. So dimension. Okay, I'm dimensioning it from the reference plane to the left reference. Okay, and this one is going to be a new parameter, and I want to call it pick the name that makes sense to you. Okay, so I'm going to call it door open 1/3, I guess, and it's going to be a type parameter. Okay, and I will use the formula for this. So back to family type, and then door open right here. I'm going to move it down because I want my width to always be on top. I'm going to move it down under pocket width, okay? And I want this to be Control C. I want the formula to be width divided by 3. Okay? So whatever the width of the door will be, this distance will be a third of it. Okay? Now I'd like to add 2 more reference plane, RP, here and here. I want this to always be at 1 inch, okay, 1 inch apart, okay, and then I will lock it, okay, and then I want the distance between these 2 reference planes, so dimension, I want the distance between these 2 reference plane to be the same as the door width, so I'm assigning width parameter to it. Okay, let's go ahead and flex it. Let's go ahead and flex this. Okay, so I'm going to move this out, and then I'm going to flex it straight from here, change it to 4, apply, change it to 1, apply, okay, and change it back to 2.6, 2 space 6, apply. Looks good. Now I'm ready for the symbolic line. Okay, annotate symbolic line. This time I'm going to use panel cut. Okay, yeah, panel cut. Okay, so this vertical lines will be aligned and locked to this. AL lock, and then this vertical line will be aligned and locked to that. Okay, and the thickness of the door will be dimension from center, front, back, and not the center of the hose. Okay, so I'm going to tab until I get the center, front, back, tab. Okay, and then dimension. Okay, let me pull this out. Okay, then I will change this dimension to 1 inch. This to 1 inch. And I don't want the relationship to change, so I will lock them both. Okay, now let's save the project. Okay, and we want to make sure, because if we go back to our dummy project file, you see that this panel still can be seen, right? So we don't want to see it. So back to our pocket door family. Select the geometry, the solid geometry, and change the visibility graphic so that it cannot be seen in Planet RCP, and whenever it's cut, we don't want to see it. So we're going to OK out of it. And that geometry should turn gray, just like the casing. All right. So now if I load this back, but before I load it back, let me flex first. So I'm going to flex. I'm making this a foot. Apply. I'm making this 6 feet, apply, making this 4, apply. Okay, I think it's working, so change it back to 2.6, okay out of it. Oops, I don't know what I just did. Let me change it to 2 space 6, apply, okay. Now I'm going to load this into our dummy project. Override existing version, and now we have it. Okay, we can flip this if we want. Okay, change it to different sizes. Okay, and if you want to, you can add a different size door. So 4.0, 8.0. All you have to deal with is the width and the height. Everything else will be taken care of by the formula. Okay, 3D view. You can just hit spacebar to flip the door. Okay, change the size. Looks like it's working. I think we're done. So save your work.